It's your girl Stassi.
And it's Jax. And welcome to another episode of She Thought It. I said it.
What's up, girl?
What's up? What's up, John?
John is
Hey
back
y'all.
for another episode.
Yes, another
Yes, another
good
day.
episode.
I'm so
It's
excited
going to
you
be
back for
really
another
good.
episode. It's gonna be really good because I know this is something that's dear to your heart, something that you wanted to talk about, and so I'm so excited that we're using our platform to have this discussion.
Yes.
Really great.
And I know that a lot of people went through, mental breakdowns during COVID
Mm-hmm.
hmm
and kind of like post COVID. But yes, Henty, that was major. Major,
Yeah,
major. And then
all the
also
way.
trying to start a business too
Mm-hmm.
during COVID and trying to juggle, a business, a job, and then
Life.
another business
Yeah.
and life.
Yeah.
And plus you have a daughter.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
hard. And especially for you too, John, because freaking Broadway is closed down.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that was what my question was gonna be. As far as how are you doing? Because we have jobs that well, Jackie's out on the field. I work from home or whatever. How are you doing? Because you are used to being on stage and out and touring and things. So how are you holding up during the pandemic as far as mental health and things are concerned for you?
Yeah.
well, yeah, it has been tough. It has definitely been tough. It's definitely been eye-opening. It's been it's been very challenging and especially creatively, trying to find a way to pivot. I was in the middle of rehearsals for a show. I was with the show that was opening at New York City Center that following week, the week that everything got closed, March 12th, I believe, was the last
Mm-hmm.
day we were in. And we were in the middle of rehearsals, and they were like, "Guys, so this is not happening. We're closing. Um, this is the last time you guys gonna perform this, like for now, like." And so it was just like tough to like hear that because yeah, I've been doing this since 2007. Like I mean
Mm-hmm.
I've done my side jobs and everything before, but I've been working professionally, just doing theater and shows and tours since 2007. So it was just like, all right, let's figure out another way. I didn't think it was gonna last this long,
Okay.
but yeah, it's been interesting. I've been right now. I'm been currently just doing unemployment and here and now I have like little work sessions with. I'm working with a couple of students back in my hometown, helping them create like their musical. Everything's virtual, so just trying to teach it little things here and there. But it's very hard because I'm not gonna go out there and go like go to McDonald's or something. Like I'm kind of spoiled, but
Mm-hmm.
just gotta find a way to pivot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
So so how have
and
you
figure it out.
so seeing that you're not actually like performing on stage and stuff, like you said your past time you were working, you're working on other projects. Um
Yeah.
did you so what is some of the things that you practice to kind of, stay sane during a time like this? Especially for just a person that's always in the creative mindset.
And always on the
Well,
go too.
yeah, I've been one of the toughest things for me is to actually pause and be still, which is very hard for me because I feel like if I'm not doing something, then I'm not being productive and not being useful. And um that was something I just kind of had to embrace. That I was like, I'm very spiritual, so I feel like everything happens for a reason.
Hmm.
And then this pause and break, it like really showed me a lot about myself. It was like, oh, you uncomfortable with this. You really don't like this, or you need to do this more. Like, one thing I needed to do was listen. I have a hard time with listening with what I need, what my, what my mind needs. Like, I always feel like I have to, there's so much insight that I have to get out. So, and instead of lending my energies to other projects, I started focusing them more into what did I want to create, like what's
Yes.
inside within. Like so I started writing which is something I don't like doing, like even like journaling, because I just
Mhm.
it's tedious. But it's actually been very beneficial because it's opened up a, a vein of like creativity. I started writing songs
Mhm.
and different lyrics and poems that were in there that was helping me express like myself.
Yeah, it's very journaling is very therapeutic when you have the time to actually journal. It's kind of
Yeah,
like it's really therapeutic because it's like you're kind of getting the thoughts out of your head onto something, and then you're able to read
yeah,
it back to kind of have that conversation with yourself. So it's really,
yeah.
I'm always team journal. I love
Yeah.
journaling.
Yeah, see, I don't like to write. I don't like
Hmm.
to sit down and write. I
Yeah,
like
but
to
I love
like
to
just
write. So
be.
for me, yeah, for me it's like okay,
It feels good.
yeah, it feels really
I'm learning it
therapeutic.
now, because one of the things when I write, I always censor myself, and that's one thing my therapist we've been working on is just like just write your thoughts out and don't censor it. Let yourself be free. Let yourself
Mm.
express. Because I always try to
Mm-hmm.
censor and I was like, that's not what I really mean. I really mean this, and that's like, no. Trust your instinct. That's what you felt.
Mm-hmm.
Put it out. It's okay, and then you could think about it later. Because if you constantly like stopping yourself from letting the emotion out, you're stifling yourself. You're not allowing it to actually
Yeah.
come out. And so that was crazy. But I was not successful. Like I'm better now. I
Mm-hmm.
have a breakdown, y'all. Like it was just like, I was questioning like without work and without me being productive something, what am I living for? Like
Mm-hmm.
what is my purpose? And it was like I had to come to the realization, it's like your purpose is not your work or your job or all that other stuff. It doesn't make you who you are. Your purpose is to live life,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yes.
live it and enjoy it and express it and feel all the feelings, the good, the bad. Like that's all part of life. Like
Yeah.
there's joy in just being.
And I
And that
like
was some
Go ahead. Oh no,
no,
I was saying I like the fact that he was open to be like I talked to my therapist because that's kind of
Mhm.
what the topic is that we're trying to like normalize, not only with every other community but especially within the black
The black
community
community,
with black,
yeah. It's
our
okay,
community
yeah.
to go to
yeah.
therapy. And as a black man, you're saying, yeah, my therapist said or whatever. Had did it take you? Like, how do you guys feel about therapy? Like, what do you?
I love
I
therapy.
I was reluctant at first because I'm not good at talking about
Mm-hmm.
myself, but it's good to just like I always equated it with like, oh, something's wrong. And it's like, no, it is not even about something's wrong. It's just a way to help, an outlet to help like bounce something off of another person. Like you get your thoughts out your head, learning how to
Mhm.
deal with your emotions, having the emotional intelligence to know
Mm-hmm.
what you're saying and navigating. It's there's things that I didn't have like growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Yeah.
know, and unpacking a lot of those like little traumas that I was like, oh, that's what that is. I ain't
Yeah.
know. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Cause
it's
that,
not me.
cause that's a lot
That's
of
not
the
my.
like, that's like a lot of the things like, like you said, growing up is like you have all those things kind of like bottled up inside. Do you feel like, what do you think, Jackie? Like growing up back in the day, do you feel like you wish you could have talked to therapists about things? Were you scared to ask to talk to a therapist? Like, what was your stance on therapy? You think growing up, childhood, do you think it was okay to be like, I talked to this person about this in your.
Okay, so growing up when I was younger, I went and saw a therapist. It's for a whole nother different situation that happened in my past. So I did see a therapist about that. Don't really remember because I was
Mm-hmm.
so young when the whole trauma and stuff happened. So, but thankful that, my mom was there to, get me help, through that
Mm-hmm.
situation. Um,
So
and then
therapy was okay in your house. It was okay to go to therapy. Like it was like.
yes,
Mm,
but I would say no. We didn't really
She had a
no.
special moment,
I had
like
a
it because we
special
didn't really know. We
moment.
didn't
Yeah, I
know.
see what you're saying. Okay, so you
So
had the
it was
special
only,
moment, and
yeah, I had
just
a
because.
special moment, a situation where I had to go to therapy.
Okay.
It wasn't because, oh, I was going through, regular stuff. You
Okay.
know what I mean? So, but no, it wasn't, and I wish we did because,
Me too.
every, every family, go through things. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so, older now, looking back on it, it's like, damn, like I should have went to therapy for that. And
That's how
so,
I feel. I feel like there's some things I could have, as a family, when you deal with certain things, growing up, it's things that, might not, you may think don't bother you because you have other things to kind of,
different outlets to like
yeah,
focus
to
on and stuff like
focus
that.
on. So, but then you realize, especially when I became a mom, oh my gosh, I realized so much things that I wish I could have addressed early on in life,
Yeah,
with family or whatever, to kind of open me up a little bit more when it was time to be a mom or whatever. So I feel like therapy, I would have done good because I feel like growing up, like, my parents are not together or whatever. So, like, growing up in that type of, my dad is raising me, I see my mom on the weekends and things like that. I felt like at some point I needed a therapist in between that because it was more like I was trying to figure out who I was with my dad and who I was with my mom when I could have just been the one
had.
person. So I felt like I had to
Hmm.
split who I was. So
Mm.
those are things that, like, as I get older, I talk to you all the time. I'm like, I'm dealing with that because I'm so used to separating them. I'm trying to figure out how to bring it together where it's not a dramatic moment. Like, it's
Yeah,
just something that's natural or whatever. I don't want to ever feel like I have to be one way to this person and one way to another person.
yeah,
So I think when I had my daughter, it automatically, to me, I was like, oh, that's the easy way out is unity. Like
yeah.
Riley's gonna bring that, the unity or whatever. But I wish I did talk to a therapist, earlier on to kind of, like, deal with some of those issues because when you're growing up, you don't understand why mommy's not in the house. You just
Hmm.
going based off of what your parent is telling you, and then your father, whoever is raising you at the time, and then they're giving you everything that you need. So you're not feeling like you're missing out on anything until you get older and you realize, oh man,
You
I'm
needed
missing
that
out on this.
emotional. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Not, having daddy issues, not having, my father present, and then finding out that, he wasn't my biological father. That was a whole
Mm.
lifetime situation, lifetime movie situation. But yes, really needed therapy through that, but I had, my
Yeah.
friends, my family to, help, and then I also had auntie.
yeah,
Shout out to auntie. So
yeah, because that was like
Yeah.
a traumatic time for you.
very,
But I
very,
feel
very,
like, even like now, like I had a mental breakdown the other day, John, with Jackie. Like
yeah,
Mm.
I just cried out of nowhere. It's because I'm so, like, how you feel like you made a decision to do something by yourself. So you're like, I gotta
Mm.
prove the world wrong. Like, I have to do this. So I decided I'm gonna be a single mom. I'm gonna raise my daughter, and she's not gonna want for anything. So I take on majority of,
not
what I'm
majority,
saying?
all of
All of
it.
it. Like, so it's
Yeah,
just like I do have my family, to help me, but it's me having to ask for that help. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because I don't
Yeah.
ever,
You have a
because
hard time asking for
yeah,
help.
exactly. And
Yep.
so it's like you don't want to feel like, it's because I feel like, sometimes people associate with, oh, I can't do this or I need a break as a bad thing. Like, you're a mom, you don't take
Yeah.
breaks. And so, like, I've always felt like that was a thing. So it's just like I broke down. Like, I was on the phone with Jackie and I was just like, I can't do this. Like, I really like lost it and like had to like cry and let it out or whatever because it's a lot.
it's a
And I
lot.
think being in a pandemic, really working from home already, then really
Mm.
having to stay in the house
Yeah,
and then
Yes.
have your daughter in your face 24/7, 7 days a week. You know what I'm saying? You
Yes.
don't have that time to actually
alone
have those
time. Yeah,
conversations with my friends because she's in the background and you're trying to, do everything at once. So it's like when you do get those little breaks, it's just like, okay, but then I don't know. So it was just
Yeah.
like one of those moments where I had to realize Jackie was like, Stassi, you need time for yourself or
you
whatever.
do. Yeah.
That's
So,
so true.
Because
but it
That's so
even
was
though
true.
you
crazy.
are a mom, you still Stassi first,
Yeah. And I can't be the best mom to her if I don't
If
take
mm-hmm.
those
Care
moments.
yourself.
Yeah, so like even
Yes.
doing the, shooting the podcast, that's kind of my therapy. That's my moment. Even though we're together, it's still like, oh, this is Stassi's time. This is something I'm
Yeah.
doing, something that I love, that I'm
This
doing
is
for
for
me.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to have that time or whatever. But you moms out there that's dealing with this, going through the pandemic, and
Yeah.
having to be in the house with your children. Because I only have one, so imagine the ones that have two or three moms.
Yeah.
Dad's the one
Yes.
outside. And think about the nurses that can't come home for weeks at a time because of their fighting
Yeah.
COVID,
And being
and then
exposed
one
to it.
person
Yeah.
has the responsibility of it. So it's just a lot to
It
deal
It is a
with. But
really
that
lot.
was
is.
mine. Yeah.
It brings out a lot. It's like, especially also like just that some people like for me, I've been battling being alone. I thought that I was okay being alone and stuff like that, but like I'm like, oh my gosh, you really do have problems with that. Like that weighs heavily on you, like not being able to. Thank God for technology. Like if we're in the age where we in now, because what was this back in 1918 when they had that the Spanish flu thing and everybody had that was quarantined then. Can you
Oh my
imagine?
gosh. Yeah, we would have lost our
Like
minds.
No
Imagine if they
contact
sent
with
us back
nobody.
there.
Yeah.
none whatsoever. And I'm like, I'm going crazy, and I can just get on the phone and FaceTime with somebody like that. It's just a new knowing that I need to do that more, and that you're not alone, even though you are alone. We're not
Yeah.
alone. We're all in it together. So.
Mhm.
Especially when your energy, when you're used to being around a lot of different energies all the
Mhm.
time, to have that. But sometimes, like you said, things happen for a reason. But sometimes you
Hmm.
need to be alone. You need to be able to
Yeah,
listen
Be
to your inner self
isolated.
and just be in that quiet. It's good because you get
exactly.
like a lot of things that you didn't realize, that dang, quiet sounds so good right now.
Yeah. True.
Like,
Exactly. And I used to be like, I thought that I was thriving. In the beginning of the pandemic, I was thriving because I like my alone time. But then as it was going through, I was like, oh, you really do need like you really do love like you need other people here like at times. And it's like so I'm never gonna like take advantage of like when you're invited to go like have a go out to eat with some people because I would be the one like, no, I'm good. I'll actually stay home and like because I wanted to be alone. It was like, no, you actually and it also showed me like what is it that you cherish, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I cherish my family, my really close friends. Like that's what
Yes.
make more time for that, and so that's been a big thing. It's been crazy. It's been very, very crazy,
Yes. I had a
but it's been beautiful.
yes.
Can I? Something just popped up at the door. Can I just go grab something right
oh yeah,
quick?
go
I'll be
Yeah,
ahead.
right
sure,
back.
sure. For me, I had a couple breakdowns, because since, this year started, I started, my candle business and then also this our podcast. She thought I said it. So it's a lot. And plus I've been working like 6 or even 7 days a week. It's been a lot. It's been a
Yeah.
lot. I mean, even taking on another job, even though I don't need
Girl,
it.
you was crazy because when you said that, I said
I don't
my
even
first
need
intention
it.
was about to be, girl, are you crazy? But I was like, no. Because
Yeah.
at first I thought she was being stupid because I had the social experience with you the night before. So I was like,
Yeah.
she's just trying to see how I was going to react or whatever. But then when you was like, you really did it, I was like, yo, that's crazy. No,
Yeah. And
but you,
I don't even need it, but it just felt like it was calling,
to,
calling
yeah,
for me. Yeah. So I was just like, okay, I'll do it. But it's just, like I said, I had a couple breakdowns where I just had to, try to, well, I didn't cut my phone off, but, just do nothing. Try to
Mm,
sleep in, even though I can't sleep in because my body's like an alarm clock. I wake up at like 7:30 every morning, but trying to like sleep in, trying to like do something, at least like go like do my nails or something like that. It just
mm.
it's just like mentally, I am tired. I am really, really tired
yeah. And that's why
mentally.
last weekend I thought it was really cool because like I was watching some series. So I was like stuck in my room the whole day
Yeah, and
anyway.
I did too. And I started my period last weekend. Yeah, and so I was like, that was a good thing and a bad thing. It was a bad thing because I was in pain and stuff, but it was like, it was good. I didn't do
Because you was
nothing
just, yeah, I didn't even
Saturday.
call you.
I know, and I was like, oh my god, I love my best friend, but we didn't talk. That's
Yeah.
good. I was like, I know she's getting some rest that she
Yeah.
much needed, and
Because
I
we
know
shot
I
each
am
other a
too.
text message, I think,
Yeah,
but we were just really just like
just
the
doing
whole weekend we
nothing.
just kicked
Like
it.
Saturday, I didn't even go downstairs to my house. I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
even
that's
make
true. We didn't
no
even leave. Jesse
no
pulled
Yes.
up and
Jesse.
everything.
We ordered food. He brought it upstairs, took it back downstairs.
Yeah, girl,
Like
that's
I
what you
just
be
stayed
needing
in
Yes.
my
sometimes. Just
bed
those
and just
moments.
yeah, just caught up on the show I was watching, Yellowstone.
Uh, okay, I gotta get into that.
So it was really good.
That's been really good though, like trying to fill your day with things. Like,
Yes.
but some days you just gotta have a day where you just don't do
Do
nothing. Like,
nothing. And
Yeah.
that's
I
okay.
put like a projector in my room, and I sit and I have a whole movie theater in my room,
Oh
in
yeah,
my
it's so
bed,
cool. He
and I
got a
just sit back and I was
projector.
like,
I
oh,
was like, let me just stop
It's gonna
seeing.
be a Marvel kind of day. I'm gonna
And you
watch
just
my
watch all
Marvel.
Marvel movies, right?
I was like, it's gonna be
Yes.
that kind of day. I'm gonna go through Endgame and Infinity Wars again and go through that emotional moment,
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
dope.
crazy.
And then another thing that like helped me through the pandemic, not having like any breakdowns or just trying to keep myself busy. Like I did things around the house. We what's that? We like spray painted some, pieces of furniture in the house. Me and Jesse did. And, remodeled a little. And then also just my audiobooks.
Yeah, she let him
Oh,
Oh
girl,
my
audiobooks.
yes, you done turned me
gosh.
on to
Girl,
that too. The
nah,
one
I'm
don't
book that
just
start. Don't
is
start.
so good. No, I actually started it, and it
he
actually
started
has been
it
He started
helping,
the book?
and
Okay,
it's
good.
been good,
finally.
and it's been
See?
good. She's been trying to get me to read this book for like a year and a half.
Yeah. And I was like, this
His
book is so
ADHD.
good. Just for so y'all
Yeah,
can
because I'm like
know, it's the Code of Extraordinary
Extraordinary
Mind.
Mind by
It's a dope,
Vision
yeah.
Lakhani.
It's a
Vision
dope
Lakhani.
concept. Like when Jackie told me to read that book the first
Dope.
time I read it, I was like, okay. But then I read it again. Like I actually
It
read it
Yeah,
with
really
her, and I was like, okay.
it really,
It's
really
something you
opened your
can always
minds.
go back
Yes.
to in
Mm-hmm.
life. You
yeah,
always go back to it.
it's really
And it helped me because
beautiful.
I was going through a rough time when I found out book. And it was crazy because I was on like YouTube looking at something. So it was the ad that came up. And so what is it called? Mind
Mind
Valley?
Valley.
Mind Valley. And so I was looking at it and so he was like, yeah, I wrote a book. He was explaining the commercial. And so then I was like, let me go look him up. And then I looked him up and I saw the book and I was like, well, let me go look at it or listen to it and see what it's about. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And this was back in 2018 when I
Mm-hmm.
read it for the first time.
It's
And
good.
I was just like, oh my God. And like to this day, I swear to it, like it
Yeah.
changed my
It was something that
life.
had stood out, and I'm gonna go back and read it again because it was something with the business, like with customer service or
Mm,
I forgot, but I don't want to say it and mess it up. But it was
mm,
like a real good thing about your personal time
mm-hmm,
and like building a business or something like that. But it was
mm-hmm.
something good. But
Good.
I don't want if John didn't get that
Hmm.
far, I don't want to get. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, you're good. I'm like on chapter 4 now, so.
And then a good thing that what really stuck out in the book for me was when he was like, can you explain? Wait, did you see something that you can explain?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, can you see it if you don't have the words to
You have to
explain it?
explain it.
And he
Yeah.
talks
Yes.
about that tribe, the Hembra tribe, how
When it was
they
Yeah.
couldn't see
the
the color blue.
ocean. Yeah, so they were trying to describe the ocean. And so I
They
was
didn't
like,
have a
that's
word for
so,
the color blue, so they couldn't see it. And it was like, so
mm-hmm.
if you don't have the words to
You
say it,
can't
can you
describe it. Can you
witness it? Can you
see it?
describe
Mm-hmm.
it?
Yeah.
Which is
And I
really
love that.
interesting. But they
Mm-hmm.
can
Listen.
like decipher between the like most minute difference in shade from green, but they can't that we won't even be able to see, but they
Mm-hmm.
can't recognize the color blue because there's no word for it.
Yeah.
Which
Mm,
is
Definitely a dope book though. It's definitely a dope book.
very
So we need to
good.
put that
It's
in
a
it
the
really
must
is.
bio.
a must
We should put
read.
it in the
It
bio. So we'll
definitely
put
is.
it in the bio
Yes.
on below the
Yes,
video, you guys.
Vision Lakhani, Mind Valley, and
Mind
what an
Valley.
inspirational story he had too. It was beautiful.
Yes,
Yeah, I
He
think
did
that's
yes.
what I was
that.
talking about. It was like something with his story that he
His
was
story.
talking about that
Hmm.
like kind of stood
It's a
out.
great person. Very educated, very inspirational.
But I think the because we're going into another episode about healing within the Black community, and I think it's good that we started the series off with this type of conversation, you know,
Hmm.
from different points of views where it's like we all dealt with a version of mental health where we wanted to we needed someone to talk to and we felt comfortable enough to reach
Mm.
out to another person. And I how I feel about it, I feel like within the Black community, I feel that we're scared to
To
look
ask
for
for
help.
help.
And
Yeah.
imagine how many voices have been lost, how many people have been silent
Yeah.
because they've been conditioned to think that therapy is not a good thing. And so I feel like our basis of this show is just to show, like,
It's okay.
it's
There's
okay.
nothing wrong with getting help. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
talking to
I
somebody.
I mean, I used to think that that was just therapy was for people who like was that was a privilege for people. Like I was like I didn't even think that it was something that was like, oh, I could benefit from that. I was like I
Mm-hmm.
always took it as a like, oh, we go through so much like that we have to deal with that. Like, child, you just weak if you have to go through therapy. Like,
Yeah, like if
And
it's
like
and it
something
to
is
was
be
wrong with you, it's wrong something wrong with you to go to
yeah,
therapy.
and to be frank, like to be 100%, growing up, it was just like, oh, that's for white people.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
yeah.
know,
that's what
black people,
and black people
for
don't like
real,
therapy.
black
We're
people
not
don't
coming
do
to this.
that.
Yeah.
Black people don't do that. But you keep what's going on, in your
What
house,
happens in this house stays in
in
this
this
house.
house.
What
Yeah.
Yep.
happens in
Talk
this
to
You
house
your.
don't,
stays
We
in this
talk to each
house.
other. That's why
don't
Nana know
tell
all the
nobody.
secrets. Grandma knows all the secrets.
Yeah.
Ever thought about that? How to, you always got
Uh-huh.
the elder in the family that know all the business.
I
That's
know
And
I
right.
could have definitely benefited from it, like especially growing up like as a gay male, like
Mm-hmm.
in a very like religious kind of like family structure and like it was just not having nobody to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Not having nobody to
exactly.
talk to about any of those things and then
And just
questioning like what does
having.
this mean? What does that
Yeah.
mean? It's just, it's yeah. I
Yeah.
definitely stand therapy.
And
Yeah.
we need to break that what you
Mentality
call it? That mentality, yeah, of therapy is
for
for
white
white
people.
people
It's
or
therapy is for
therapy is
people
not
that.
good.
Yeah.
Therapy is good. Just to talk about
hmm
your day, what's going on. If you have nobody else to talk to, and it's good to talk to somebody who you don't know, unbiased. They can't judge you because they
hmm
don't
Mm-hmm.
know you. That's good to talk to somebody that you don't know.
Yeah. Because even
So
a lot of times, like, my aunt, she's a therapist or whatever, and sometimes it's okay for me to go to her, but sometimes I'm like, yo, I can't go to Aunt Claire with this one because she's going to give me the answer based on who she knows I am.
yeah,
So it might not be intentionally biased, but it's
yeah,
still like, I know
comes
how
off,
you
yeah.
are. Because she probably already knows the end result because she's my aunt. But like, you go to her and have a conversation with her,
And
you'll
it's totally
probably get a
different.
different,
A
you know what I'm
different
saying? A
answer.
different answer. And I'm like, I just told you the same, but okay, it's Jackie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so to always, I know when I had, signed up for this therapy website online or whatever, and it felt good at one point. I was dealing with a lot of things, from my mom's side, and having the baby or whatever. And so I had to talk to somebody. It was at the point where I can't talk to my family about this. I can't talk to anybody about it because it's like such a private thing that I'm dealing with inside. And then the person that it was gay, the anger and the hurt was gauged towards. I didn't want to put her
Mm.
business out there. So it's just like I need to talk to somebody that I can get an honest opinion about it, so that I can be able to move on or
Yeah.
whatever. And it's been a great thing, to be able to have to get to kind of like get it out. I was able to get it
Mm.
out.
It feels
So
so much
now,
better
yeah, and
when
so now just
you.
healing from it, and I'm able to have conversations with my mom that I probably wouldn't had, or talk to my dad about things that I probably wouldn't even had talked to him about, or felt brave enough to have certain conversations with him about.
Yeah.
So,
hmm
but yeah,
So just to, hit this, this sentence again or whatever, but it's okay. It's okay to talk to people. It's okay to talk to a therapist. Getting help do not make you weak at
yeah,
Yes.
all.
definitely.
And you don't always have to wait till something happens to go and seek therapy.
Yes, you
Like
don't
you
have to
can
wait.
like
Yeah,
you
Mm-hmm.
can go in
exactly.
like just like sometimes I just getting out of your head and getting with your expressing yourself like that's it's beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Very
human.
beneficial.
We're meant to
Yes.
feel. We have emotions, and we're
Yep,
meant to feel all of them.
for sure.
Yes.
You know.
So it's safe to say we all had,
We
mental
all went through some
breakdowns
stuff.
during
Yeah, we all
hmm
the
went through some.
pandemic and even post pandemic,
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
like we've never been through anything like this. This is crazy. So, like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
can you imagine like how historic if you just really sit and think about it? Like, when has the world like fully like stopped and
Stopped and
like
shut down. So
Mm,
And then just like when the fear of like seeing people, you losing loved ones here and there, and
Yeah.
you don't know how a virus is going to react with your body, or how it's going to react with the next, and it's just this uncertainty, like
Yeah, you
Being
having getting
scared to
anxiety,
like
like
leave the
anxiety.
house.
People that weren't even
yeah,
dealing with anxiety
Got
now
yeah,
it.
got
I
anxiety
know,
now.
like for instance, well, I always thought my mom had anxiety or whatever, but she was just like, she called me one day. She was like, I was about to say baby. She was just
yeah.
like, Jackie, I'm really, have a lot of anxiety
Yeah, it's
lately,
Mm.
crazy.
and I'm going to talk to my doctor. And I was just like, wow,
But that's a
for
beautiful space. Like mom, for
very
mom to say that and
beautiful.
express that,
And if
because she would
because y'all
never
don't know my
express
mom,
that. She would never
exactly.
ever say that to
See,
us
I'm not
like
Y'all don't
finna
know
get
my
you
mom.
enjoy in business. Don't do that.
that.
But yeah, it's been a great
Good for you,
episode.
mom. Yes.
It was a
Yes.
great
Yes.
episode.
And we have to touch on this
We
again so
do.
we can go
So,
in
this
deeper
is just
stuff.
like a bonus episode for you guys to kind of we
Yes.
can get into that topic so we can, get some questions from
Real
you guys,
conversation,
things that you want
yes.
us to touch as far as mental health, how you guys feel about it, maybe questions that that you want answered because we will have somebody here to kind of answer those questions for you on that episode. So, thank you
Yes.
so much, John, for
Thank you.
coming
As
back
Thank
on
always,
this
thank you
show.
you.
guys for having me. I love
We
y'all
love
so
you. Love
We
you so
much.
love it
much.
here.
So this has been another episode of She Thought It.
I said it. Until next time, my
Peace out.
beautiful ones.